Hello, everybody. Welcome back. So we're ready to start our adventure in biology by the numbers. And in particular, as I mentioned earlier, what we're going to try to do is to engage in a bunch of different estimates that we will use to develop intuition about different systems, from all the way from single cells to the whole planet. And also, it will be an opportunity to flex our quantitative muscles. But basically, the point here is that we're going to try to answer the question, what sets the scale of X, where X can be any phenomenon, from, again, the energy requirements of a single cell to what sets the scales of mountains to what sets the scale of how many cows there are in the world. Okay. And as I mentioned earlier, we're going to divide these vignettes in two different broad categories. One has to do with what I would call biological numeracy, thinking about developing a feeling for biology from all the way from single molecules to organisms. And then there's another section that has to do with the human numeracy. We're trying to develop an intuition for the impact that the human activity has had on the planet for the last 100,000 years. So let's start by thinking about what sets the scale of X in the context of single molecules to whole organisms. And these are some of the vignettes that we will explore over the next few videos, ranging from how do you figure out how much power is generated by an organism, to the relative sizes of RNAs and proteins, to axons, to how long it takes for a molecule to diffuse through an axon, to the length of proofreading, the length of the DNA that can be transcribed without any errors due to proofreading, to thinking about what transporters, what are the building blocks of a cell. And this exam is very much based on a set of questions that were developed originally by Ron Milo and Yinon Baron, and also by Rob Phillips. And I've been building on them together with them for the last few years. And I just think it's a great way to get this quantitative biology bootcamp started. And before we get started, let me just give you a few tools that we will use throughout the vignettes. And these are, some of them can be drawn from these two great books. One is called Guesstimation, that you see on the left, and we'll use some of the tools, especially for making quick estimates of by averaging, is this, like, I want to figure out, let's say, the size of something. So I figure out what is a size that is too high, what is a size that is too low, and how do I average those two quantities to figure out a educated guess. And much of what we will do actually will be based on some great rules for estimation that were developed by Sanjoy Mahajan in his great book Street Fighting Mathematics. And really, like, I think myself and my buddies, we all strive to become street fighting mathematicians. And basically, everything we do in these next vignettes is about street fighting. It's about what could you figure out if you didn't have anything else with you handy. What if you were on the beach, on the desert beach, like Tom Hanks in Castaway? What could you figure out by just having a stick, drawing with a stick in the sand? Okay, and one of such rules that you see here is going to be what we call the 1 few 10 rule. Okay, and here the idea is that instead of trying to get super precise with our estimations, we're going to either say that a number is 1, a few, or 10. Okay, and if we get something right within a factor of a few, or even a factor of 10, we're going to be pretty happy. So you will see what this looks like as we develop the different vignettes in the next few videos.